Sawubona yemlumzana. Sawubona saluka sana. 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 Sawubona saluka sana.
Oh! Please share the live, guys. Please like and share the live. Ah! Thank you, Wengobo Beauty. Nacho mkhosi. Ndihambe.
Sawubona salukazi.
Oh, siyabulisa. Kusandile ngwakwamadzikane. Mutfu wekupheka tiphemphem ngenqawana, mutfu wekupheka tiqhakuba ngenqawana, mutfu wekuhwala emgodleni, wekutheuka ethabeni ngemlebu, sincola kamhluti imati yansakona. Ngiwakahlathi mina ihlathi elingothiwa selelivutha lothiwa zimfene kuba imfene zibaninilo. Ndikumfene zimabutho ahlukana xa kutshona ilanga. Ndikumahamba ngezandla kuthiwa phala kuhle ngoba le ndlela iyehlela. Mabona abulawe ngathi ngumthakathi. Umalelelwa zintombi zithi mfoka undizeke. Ndingwakwaluncu, ndingwakwamandla, ndingwakwamandu wafike luhlangeni. Ndingwakwazaba umfene mazabiwe zabelwa abafokazi. Ndiphuma ke kwinkazana yasemanzothweni konyelenzi komaphanga konqale konqake nqanqasini koxuxa koxham kowele. Hoyini bafazi bentsikizi lentsholo nayiphazama nithi abathi isidoda ngoma lehlatyelwa isifazi. Liyobe ngaphambili impunzi ngasemva ngumtya nethunga intombi yasemanzothweni. Tabaka untabankulu. Untsibankulu kaYouth untabaka Hili. Namhlanje bantwana begazi. Namhlanje masingene sizoncokola. Sincokola ke ngobuntu bethu. Sitawukhuluma ngebuntu bethu. Sitsho ke siphuthi sithi sitawukhuluma sitawuncokola. Kwazi ke ngempilo ukuthi sincokole asimameleni umvumo umculo wesintu lomnanzi. EmaSwati athi sawubona gogo, sawubona salukazana. Let's listen to emaswati and one or two songs and then we start. Welcome to all of you guys. Please share the live, like the live and interact. Zonke ezo zinto uyabona. Let's enjoy the music first and then we'll continue because kuninzi. There's so much we need to talk about. So let's do it. Athi madoda igwala kulonina. Igwala kulonina athi umswati lomnyama kulaba luthuli. Ulodvu kanzaba wasekunene. Ulodvu kanzaba wasemaphondweni. Bathi inkunzi enjani ehlaba ezinye? Inkunzi enjani ehlaba ezinye? My people, you know, one of the things that I like to discuss is how we are all connected as the indigenous people of South Africa and generally Southern Africa. But the connection goes further than just South Africa, guys, you know. As indigenous humans in Africa, there's no doubt that we are connected. But the problem begins when abanye try to make it seem like the people of South Africa are not the people of South Africa. They come from somewhere else. It's a replacement. They try to replace the indigenous people by claiming their place. We are born. And they will create their own theories and all those kind of things. So, one thing I like about us is that you come against us. You come against nature itself. You come against the universe. You come against the very world you live in. And things catch up with you sooner than you expect. All those who have come against us, one way or another, the world deals with them. I like that. Whether people see it or not is irrelevant. I just like it. Uyazi izolo, before I start on talking about clans and all these things, izolo, I remembered how there's this creature here. Sibiza umcikwane. Some people call it umntwana wezulu. Some people call it ungqangqe zulu. Some people call it isitixo sezulu. Some people call it intethe yezulu. It is the praying mantis. Some people call it umathwalimbiza. Some people call it umanqindana. Some people call it sirwala nkhwana, I think. This is the praying mantis. Again, ucikwane. Umcikwane. Hey, Tina, we were told as children, Tina, you can't harm the praying mantis. You don't kill the praying mantis. The praying mantis is a good sign if you see the praying mantis. But we never thought to ask why. You know, why do you think the praying mantis is a good sign? Why should I not harm it? I remember this one guy was telling us that if he, as a boy, when he used to go and, ayokwalusa, if he somehow mistakenly killed it, he would be so sad the whole day because he knew you can't harm the praying mantis. So I went to find out the various names of this thing, and people were mentioning the names they use in their region, where they come from. Let me show you. So some people, they called it ujiane. Some people call it ucimbiti. Some people called it this one saying umntane mighty, umntakathixo. Some people call it ungqawungqawana. Some people call it umakhulu wezulu, ugogo. The most important aspect is that this thing holds a spiritual significance to us. That is the most interesting part. Yeah, bon. You see, African womanist, we were told ngugogo, and if you harm, she will cut your hair ebusuku. Yes, some people call it umakhulu wezulu or umntane wezulu, the child of the heavens. But there's a deep mythology surrounding this entity. First and foremost, guys, we must understand that this is an insect. We do have a belief system surrounding insects. I think in Zimbabwe it's called Mbuya Muderere. Please explain that to us. Mbuya Muderere. I remember, I think you once mentioned that before, that it's called Mbuya Muderere. Guys, we must also understand in Zimbabwe there's an elaborate spiritual system. I just feel like the people of Zimbabwe don't talk enough about it. There's an elaborate spiritual system in Zimbabwe that connects very perfectly to ours here in the south. There's a lot of mythology around insects, be it ants, be it termites, izintubi, be it bees, inyosi, be it locusts, inkumbi, be it different types of insects. They hold specific significance. When I was young, I was told to never harm when a bee comes into my abode where I stay. When inyosi enters the house, we were always told it's a good sign. It's a visit from the forefathers. We were also told never to harm the ladybug, umakhulu. I grew up loving these animals, these insects. We were also told again not to harm this one. This one, people used to even pray actually to it. There's a prayer that I remember. Ncengeze mntanezulu, ncengeze mntanemzulu. Utsho kuyihlo asiphe ingubo. Or it differs based on the region you come from. But ncengeze means I am cengering you, I'm begging. That's what ncengeze means, from the word kucenga. So when you say ncengeze, you are asking the insect to excuse you. Why would you ask an insect to excuse you? Because we had a belief that, the insect represented something bigger. There's an old mythology, but the mythology goes deeper than just the insect. It goes to the first race, the early race of humans. So there's this belief that the original human beings, or the original ancestors, before the ancestors that we consider as the original human beings, the race that existed before, there's a belief. In fact, they are called, in some of our mythologies, obviously, including, your so-called Kwe mythologies, izintsomi zabathwa ke, if you will, yabo, izintsomi zabathwa, they are considered as the first people, these entities. They are considered as those who dwelt here first, before any human being. It is said that this group were able to live as humans, but they were also able to shapeshift. And the earliest being was able to shapeshift into a praying mantis. Into a praying mantis, or an insectoid being. And this being was so good at shape-shifting. He was a trickster. He used to trick the other early humans. This is what other cultures will call gods, titans, the god of thunder, the god of this, the god of this. Why is the insect praying mantis so significant? Because it is being credited as having... I don't understand why these people are restricting my life. Like, I genuinely do not understand. So I must show my face by force now. TikTok is becoming stupid. They're literally becoming so stupid. So I must show my face now. Like, what nonsense is this? Yes. Let me just quickly appeal this dumb restriction. Like, I can't do any live, Jay. Like, they must just always restrict me for some dumb nonsense. No, man, guys. Let me just quickly sort this out. Anyway, so why is the praying mantis regarded so highly? Firstly, the early race in this mythology, and obviously accounts are gonna differ, but the early race has said that they were able to shapeshift. And if you think this is strange, think about how in our mythologies, the stories you are told as kids, cows can talk. Greetings. Cows can talk. Humans can fly. Things resurrect from being unalived. So it comes from the same, approach. But the praying mantis is said to have been the first creature to grant human beings the ability to make fire. I repeat, the praying mantis is credited with stealing fire from the first race to give our forefathers. I remember there's a brother of mine, he mentioned that within the Watsonga there's a group known as Watwa. Watwa, we know Guti Abatwa, Batwa, they are credited as forged, the fire forgers, the people who forged the fire. Shitikanzilo. Shitika comes from the word shitiko, iziko, the fireplace. Nzilo means fire, umlilo, which is in reference to the Isilala word nilo for fire. So Shitikanzilo is the fire maker. And this clan of Watwa within Watsonga is credited and praised as being the originators of fire. But think about how we used to make fire. We used to take a stick and do this through friction. So we made fire through friction. Saphehla umlilo. Isiphehla mlilo or shitikanzilo. Look at this creature here. When it holds its fists like this, as if it's whipping a stick through friction, making fire. That's one. The praying mantis is credited as being the originator of fire from the first race of humans to us. But when there's fire, there's another industry that opens. Because fire speaks to combustion. Fire gives us the ability to forge weapons. Fire gives us the ability to create spears. It gives us the ability to create tools, to create agricultural, artifacts. Fire gives us the ability to cook. So fire is an innovative technology that is fundamental to human survival and advancement. So this creature, umcikwane, the praying mantis, it is said that in ancient times, in our mythology, this creature stole from the ostrich, inciniba. Because it is said that the ostrich used to have the ability to fly. Now you need to understand this is mythology, so there's principles hidden in the stories. The ostrich had the ability to fly in ancient times. It is said that the beings that used to shapeshift from humanoid to insectoid, the insect beings used to shapeshift. The praying mantis went to trick the ostrich. It is said when the ostrich opened its wings and flapped its wings, fire started to come out. Now, the praying mantis realized that it could steal that fire if it can just trick the ostrich. And it tricked it with fruits in a tree. And I will explain where I'm going with this. The praying mantis tricked the ostrich with fruits in a tree. Told the ostrich that tree has really nice fruits. And the ostrich looked and saw, wow, those are really nice fruits. And then the praying mantis said, go even higher, the nicest fruits are up there. So the ostrich was forced to flap its wings high up, and the fire came down. And the praying mantis, as a trickster being, stole that fire. And obviously that fire found its way to our clans. That's why Watsonga will say the Watswa are the Shitikanzilo people. Shitika, the forgers, Nzilo of fire. Shitika gives us the word shitiko, which is isiziko. Exactly. The ostrich is like the phoenix, which rises from the ashes. And I think also the same can be extended to the utekwane, the lightning bird. I think the same can be extended. What the Tram regard as the ostrich having fire underneath its flaps, its wings, I think it's what the Zulu and the Xhosa consider as utekwane, impundulu, the lightning bird. I think the mythology connects there. That the utekwane, the mpundulu, the lightning bird, hammerkop, because it is related and connected to lightning. In fact, if you listen to the mythologies around impundulu and utekwane, it is said that when there's lightning striking, it's actually utekwane. Utekwane is flapping its wings. Thank you, Nondwaiza. Thank you very much. Utekwane is actually flapping its wings. And when it flaps its wings, it burns its fat and sends lightning down. When the lightning strikes down, there's chemical reactions that take place. There's a couple of things you can grab from there. One of the things you can grab is things called fulcrites. Fulcrites, which have the shape of a spear, or at least the head of a spear. Those fulcrites are collected in a full moon. They are collected during a full moon. When they are collected, they can be used in very potent ways. 1, when the lightning strikes. 2, after the lightning strikes, the organic matter burns and there's charred substances that remain behind. Powder, umgubo kaphezulu. Now I remember as a child, the elders would say, hey, bambethe ngomgubo kaphezulu madoda. Ingqondo yazula, which means you've been bewitched with the powder of the sky being. What is the powder of the sky being? Umgubo kaphezulu. It is the charred substances. When the lightning strikes maybe a tree or a patch of grass, those things that burn there, those substances that are left are taken as well. They are potent in using in other, for herbal reasons. So the fulcrites and the charred substances that you see after lightning are used in day-to-day life to manipulate certain elements of our life. So if you thought mythology is not connected to your everyday life, think again. Because that same mythology that informs us that the ostrich was the originator, or the ostrich had the ability to have fire come out of its wings. The same mythology that tells us that the lightning bird, impundulu, utekwane, has the ability to influence lightning. It is the same mythology that guides the belief that when there's full moon, after a lightning has struck, you can go to the lightning struck place, gather at least 2 substances, the char or the ashes, umgubo kaphezulu, the powder that comes from the sky being, and the fulcrites, which are reminiscent of the shape of umkhonto. They are reminiscent of the shape of umkhonto. They look like a spear. Those 2 can be taken. But it originates and it is connected to our mythology. Think about the phoenix bird as rising out of the fire, out of the ashes. And look at the phoenix bird. It looks like a crane. It's like some kind of crane. It's a bird with a plume or some kind of crown in the head and also like a tail. Look at the hammerkop, utekwane. And then look at the ostrich. It is reminiscent of some form of dinosaur creature. And it's flightless. How do the Tram explain the flightless nature of the ostrich? They say, after the praying mantis, Kraken, after the praying mantis stole the fire from under the wings of the ostrich, the praying mantis stole the fire. The ostrich vowed that it will never flap its wings again so that its fire can be stolen. Because then the fire went to be used in the fire hearth, esidlangalaleni, to burn ore, isinyithi, to release metal, insimbi, to create weapons, izixhobo. To create weapons, izixhobo. And this is what advances agriculture. But it's also what advances war. So as much as fire can be used for the positive things, it can also be used for destructive things. And this is why it features so greatly in ancient mythology that fire was stolen. Fire was stolen and given to humans. Now humans use fire to create rockets. Humans use fire to create missiles. Humans use fire to create atomic bombs. Humans use fire to burn one another in various ways. But fire can be used as well to heal in one way or another. In one way or another. The phoenix bird, remember, it's actually a crane. It's a crane. So we have different types of cranes, Tina, like Indwe or Indwandwe, the blue crane. We've got the crowned crane, Ihemu, the one that screams when it does its bird cry. Ihemu. But the name phoenix, it's not necessarily the bird. The name phoenix itself is not the name of the bird. It means the bird of the Phoenicians. The Phoenicians are the people who used to work with dye, red dye, from north parts of Africa all the way to what we call Palestina or Palestine today. So there used to be a group of people there called Phoenicians, the people of Phoenicia. Those people used to work with red dye, and that's where the name Phoenicia comes from. It means red dye. So phoenix means the bird of the Phoenicians, but the bird itself is literally a crane. Indwe, Indwandwe, Ihemu, different types of cranes. But mythologically, if you look at the character of the phoenix, it seems to resemble in some way the Impundulu of Amaxhosa and Amazulu, Uqimqoshe, Uthekwane. It seems to resemble the Inqiniba of the Qam, because both these are associated with fire in some way and or lightning. But also it does in some way resemble either the sun or the moon, because sun rises and sets. Sun rises and sets, moon, dies and resurrects. So, ancient cultures link everything together. They link everything together. So, the mythology goes and says, after the praying mantis stole the fire from the ostrich was like, I will never flap my wings again. Do you see now? This is a primordial account of why the ostrich is flightless. Now, if you start to examine, some of the ancient rock art, you will see some of these things are there in the rock art itself. Some of these things are there. You see, as the ostrich is busy there, eating the fruits, the praying mantis is stealing the fire to give it to humans. Have you ever heard of the Greek Prometheus? Have you ever heard of Prometheus, the Greek entity who stole fire from the gods and gave it to human beings? Yeah? He stole fire from Zeus himself and gave it to humanity according to the Greeks. Now, if you think about the name Prometheus, the name means for, prom or pro means ahead. Pro means ahead. Theus means to think. Prometheus, the ones who think ahead. The ones who think ahead. The forethought, the thought that comes forward. He defied the gods of Olympus and stole the fire from Zeus himself. He was a titan. Stole the fire and gifted it to humanity. He was taken and arrested, and there was a bird that was supposed to consume him forever, the eagle. But then Heracles went to fight for Prometheus to be free from the bird. Heracles is the same one they call Hercules today. The strong one. Huh? But also the name Prometheus is also related to another word, Pramath, which comes from Proto-Indo-European, a root from Proto-Indo-European. It's called Pramath, which means to steal. Therefore, Prometheus also means the thief because he was the thief of fire. But think about it. These birds and the bird mythologies go way back before the Greeks. Even in ancient Kemet, there are mythologies. There are mythologies that account of birds and fire birds, fire-breathing birds, or birds that rise in fire. This is why you can't allow mythology to die, because then you think, oh no, the Greeks were so civilized. No, we've been talking about Impundulu, Mos. We've literally been talking about Impundulu. The Greeks just took this ancient animal mythology, took it and personified it as a human called Prometheus. But we know it's birds, it's insects. It's birds, it's insects. Think about the name Prometheus. Prometheus. The forethought, the thought that comes ahead. Think about thought in ancient Kemet. Thought being associated with knowledge, writing, and wisdom. Thought or Thoth in ancient Kemet is associated with writing and wisdom, which is what Prometheus also was associated with. So these mythologies are not foreign to us. Not at all, actually. But for me, the greater thing is that these mythologies tell us that shapeshifting is a real thing. In the mythologies themselves, they say shapeshifting is there. The early races used to shapeshift. But for you to believe it, you must watch a Marvel movie with knowledge that we already have. Look at this insect creature. That is like a human being, like the mythologies are telling us. In fact, there was an article I read. Look at these insect creatures. These are humanoid, insectoid, reptilioid, or reptilian creatures. I once read an article where this man found a massive, like a big praying mantis. Like he found it, I think, in his farm. And he passed away 2 days later. I don't know who was behind that, but that's not normal. He passed away 2 days later. So our people's understanding of shape-shifting and biohacking, because biohacking is something we've always spoken about. When we talk about uktwebula, that's a form of hacking the consciousness of a person. You've hacked them biologically. It's biohacking. But you'll only believe it when those institutions start to talk about it. We've been saying, but it's not just even animals. If you've ever watched Game of Thrones, there are those guys there. Brandon, the Stark boy, the three-ravened eye. You know, he can biohack like ravens and see through them, and wolves, and see and experience things through them. That's biohacking. That's hacking. Uktwebula. That's one form that kudala our people telling us about that. Abantu bayakwazi ubona ikati wena ebusuku. Uthi hayi ikati yakwamakhelwane. Ayo kati, it's someone from down the road. Ubona ikati ikulandela, or this dog is following you, this bird is following you. Hey, you know when I was writing matric years ago, when I was writing my final exams in matric. Hey, they used to send a flyer to me. Hey, Limpukane is a kumdedwa in the whole hall, like it's full. It's like maybe like hundreds of matric students writing. Mara, this fly only comes to me. I knew it was a drone. I knew that this one is a spy drone sent from somewhere. Probably my neighbors back then. Hey, and I mean, every day there was a fly just focusing on me. You know, we wrote in a big venue. It's not like maybe it's dirty or anything. No, and it was not warm. But this fly is only focusing on me. Like, then I realized maybe on the third day, this is not a real fly. This fly has been biohacked. It's a spy. I laughed after that. I used to laugh when I see this fly. I'm like, you think you can distract me, boy? You have something else coming your way. But these things do happen. I promise you, these things do happen. Some of them you don't even see. You don't have the ability to see, but they're there. You do not see those things because you cannot decipher them with your eye. Remember now, for you to see, your eye must be able to decipher based on the reflection of the sunlight against whatever physical body. But that physical body must reflect the visible spectrum of light. If your eyes are only limited to the visible spectrum, you're not going to see what's on your way. That's why when you have dogs, and these dogs are barking relentlessly, and they are looking at something, but you don't see it, trust me, that dog sees something, because the dog can see beyond the scope of your eyes. My mother told me this one time that, the importance of having pets in the house. Not pets, she said animals. Whether it's cows, or ducks, or geese, or birds, or pigeons, chickens, is that you learn how they communicate and they make your environment much safer. You learn how dogs communicate when they are happy, when they are panicking, when they see danger. Even if you don't see it, but you know this dog cannot howl this way if it says something that's not scary. Inja I very kulungenje at 3 a.m. And you think, oh no, there's nothing. I looked through the window. There's nothing. There's nothing that you see. Doesn't mean there's nothing. It does not mean there's nothing when you can't see what the dog can see. So it's important to understand the language of these animals. But in our mythology, it's not just the animals that have language. Even the seemingly, how do I put it? The things that can't speak. The things that you think can't speak, like the stars and the moon and the sun. In our mythology and indigenous school of thought, they can speak actually. The moon can speak. The sun can speak. When there's a specific type of eclipse, we know what to do. When it's a full moon, we know what to do. We know the mood. The moon is in a good mood. The moon is in a good mood when it's a full moon. It's a good day to hunt. It's a good day to celebrate. It's a good day to even pick herbs, by the way, when it's a full moon. And then you know when it's a waning crescent, when it's a waxing moon, waning gibbous, when it's a new moon, we know it's a morning time. Because we understand the communication, or at least our forefathers used to understand. I read to pick herbs, like herbs, for healing. But not just herbs, other things to use in concoctions. Because it's not just herbs. Like I mentioned earlier. I mentioned earlier that after lightning, you don't want to visit that site to pick up stuff to use in your concoction unless there's a full moon. So you can pick up, full moon water. You can pick up burnt substances that are burnt by lightning. You can pick up the fulgurites of lightning when it's a full moon. Because our forefathers believe that the moon has spoken. When it's a blood moon as well. When it's a bad moon. If ukunomtu okufungeleyo bakusebenza kamnandi when it's a blood moon. Bakushaye ngelumbo uzula ingqondo. That's why when you must be defensive on your side. You understand? Abenzi bobubi also align with these things. It's not only people abenzi okulungileyo. Abenzi bobubi also know these things, and they know them even more advanced. People who do evil know these things that I'm talking about at a much more advanced level. At a much more advanced level than you can ever imagine. And if you get close enough to them, they will tell you some of these things. They will tell you some of these things. One of the best ways to defend from ukungcola, one of the best ways to defend from evil, firstly, you must watch who has access to you. You can never go wrong with that one. You must watch who has access to you. Because ukungcola works with proximity. Evil thrives when there's proximity. It is location specific, I promise you. Ububi works with access and proximity. So that is why they will keep on pounding you. No, let's go out. Let's go out. Let's go out. They can't operate properly if they have no access to you, because they need as much data about you as they possibly can. They need to know what time you leave for work. They need to know what time you get off that car. The year was 2013. This other lady bought a brand new condo. They were still new in those years. 12 years ago, she bought a brand new condo. And then she started losing her mind. Young woman. She started losing her hair. She had spots all over her body. Weird diseases left, right, and center. And started losing the mind. You know the nice thing about westernized people, everything has a name. Everything has a label. Anxiety. It's a panic attack. But that's just the outcome of what was done. It is panic attacks that you see. It is anxiety because we have names for these things. But the root cause is what you should be dealing with. Hey, this lady, we figured out that she's not even there. The person who was driving the car all along was a completely different creature. She's not there because 4 hours later, after whatever was done to her, she stood up and cried for her family. And like, oh guys, when was the last time I saw you guys? She was with them when she entered the house. She was literally with them. But when she came back after 4 hours, because she passed out, something else started speaking inside of her. Hey, that thing that spoke, hey, it was so disrespectful. Guys, how do you defend against evil? Access. Proximity. Why do you take your underwear and put it just anywhere people can just grab it? Where are your socks, the ones that you lost? Where are those socks? You know, you're not going to defend against evil if people can just come and grab your stuff. You're busy wearing other people's clothes. Oh no, guys, it's Groove. We went to Groove. And then you gave someone else your jacket. And then you wonder why every night there's someone visiting you and having the action with you, doing the deed. You wake up tired every day. Every dream when you are flying, every single dream you are flying. You always dream of a bull, and the bull is chasing you in the dream. Hey. And you think that's normal. Oh no, I used to sleepwalk. It's my thing. I sleepwalk all the time. Uyapi? Where are you rushing to? At 3 a.m. Thina ke ngesintu, we have other understanding of these things. And it doesn't involve ingesting drugs so that you can fall asleep by force. It involves looking at maybe something deeper. You know, you must be careful of things that you lose, especially articles like clothing. Clothing, because they have your smell. Things that have your smell. Ubumdaka, insila. Insila. Inwele. Inzipho. Ivumba. Smell. People can't have access to those things. If you want to defend against evil, you prevent. And then, if you want to defend against evil, your biggest strength is not ungabaqali abantu ungabazi. That is your biggest strength. Ungabaqali abantu ungabazi. That one is very important. If you wrong people, apologize. Even I've always understood that if I did something wrong, I have to apologize, because when I apologize, then I'm taking my power back. Because in some places, I can promise you one thing. Some people, they know they cannot handle you if they are alone. Let me put it like that. One-on-one, they know they cannot handle you, but they need a good reason to report you in the council of the night. They just need a good reason. And if you keep on giving them reasons, I promise you, they will get someone within your household to assist and make things very fast for them. Kumele kuvuma ngaphakathi endlini for them to get you. You have to be careful. Don't give them a reason. So if you wrong someone, apologize. Even if they don't forgive you, they will never be stronger than you if you apologize. Now, it's different when people bangakufuni nje. You have every right to look out for yourself. It's actually even better abantu bangakufuni nje. Not because abantu bangakufuni, because you're doing wrong things to them. That's a better position to be in, spiritually speaking now. It's better abantu bangakufuni when you didn't do nothing to them. Kunoba abantu bangakufuni because you keep on doing bad things to people. Because I promise you, uzobazi abantu. I've seen things and I've heard things. I've had to deal with things from a very young age. I don't like to talk about my personal stuff. When you think someone is a boyfriend to you, kanti une assignment. You think this person is my boyfriend, kanti une assignment. That person is already married in another dimension. You need to watch out, guys. You with someone and then you're with someone and then all of a sudden you lose understanding of your reality. You go left side. Because you can see if someone gives you wisdom, and you can see if someone always goes the other way. You need to be careful, because some people are simply just agents. Bathunyiwe, bazokulanda. 2021. Yes, Nondwaiza, that's what I'm talking about. 2021. I see a child in a casket. And then the casket is put on top of a tree. It's a girl. She's doing grade 10. Very smart child. But today, that child could not even finish matric. I blame the mother. She didn't take things seriously. I go to that child to visit. That child is during the day, hot summer day. All the windows and curtains are closed. she's underneath maybe 3 blankets. I'm asking you, my child, what's wrong? Uti, 3 women are calling me outside the window, just here. And the moment they start calling me, my body starts to levitate. I feel my body rising. I feel myself rising up. I'm like, really? And then we took it from there. Hey, this one time, this child, man, started getting an asthma attack. Had to deal with that in a specific way, but when she comes back, Uti, no, I was actually underneath water. When I was having asthma, I don't see myself as if I'm in the house. I see myself, I'm underwater. So the water is taking my breath now. I can't breathe. And I'm thinking, maybe if I wasn't there, what was going to happen to this child? Because between the voice that's telling her to run outside and the 2-3 women who are calling her at night at 12 a.m., and then they're having no ability to breathe, what was going to happen? And it's just a 13-year-old child. No, a 15-year-old child, 16, 17, I don't know. And then when you look at the situation, it's something that started when she was 7 in grade R, when she ate her friend's sandwich. Because it was no bloody sandwich. The friend was told to give this specific sandwich to her. No, when you get to school, you must eat with that one, okay? Give that one this sandwich. The sandwich knows what it needs to do, and it's going to incubate in that bloody body of that child. It's going to incubate until it reaches the time of manifestation. It happened. Nah, it was not schizophrenia. Schizophrenia doesn't stop when you do certain things. It was not schizophrenia because three different people saw the same thing. 3 different people in 3 different locations saw the exact same thing, the exact same people. Unless schizophrenia only happens when someone is about to go into grade 12 and then it stops after that. Unless schizophrenia only happens during exam time. If schizophrenia only has an on button during final exams, then maybe it was. If schizophrenia stops when a child drops out of school, then maybe it was. So unless then the child had schizophrenia, but the schizophrenia is only active when that child goes back to school and is intent on actually finishing matric. Maybe that schizophrenia is the same reason the mother of that child could not finish school. Sometimes it goes deeper than just that. All I'm saying, the mother should have acted earlier. It's not schizophrenia. I promise you, I know exactly because I've seen it across different areas. You see, when you deal with things like this, you know, Uguti, it's October now, then people are going to start getting sick. Immediately on the last day of the exams, the sicknesses disappear. But only for those who can see. Hello guys, Dumela Mrena Makar. Come join my brother, come join the panel. Only those who can see know what's up, yabo. There's something called ukutwasa. And then there's something called ukutweswa. Yeah, I think our people have lost knowledge about us. And I think that's why people who do evil will thrive in this day and age, because there's just so much that needs to be explained, man. Our people have lost knowledge. They can't even defend themselves because they don't know what things are. Now, I know a guy who was a grade less than me. He was going to replace me. He was going to take my place. Somehow he had meningitis. And after that meningitis, it seems the meningitis left with all the distinctions in the brain. Interesting type of meningitis. The one that takes away a person's ability to actually get good grades, but they've always had good grades for 13 years of their lives. But this one meningitis that strikes when you're about to go to grade 12, it just seemed a little too suspicious for me. Some meningitis and some schizophrenias, they seem to have a switch on and a switch off. Anyway, back to the question that was asked. How do you defend against evil? I mentioned 3 things. But that was not the point of today. The point of today was not to talk about evil and all that. I don't want to deviate. I want to go back to the mythology about this thing. So the belief that the praying mantis took the fire from the ostrich seems to me to align with other bird laws, like stories about birds having certain abilities. But the main reason why I deviated is because our ancestors also had this belief that things like moon and stars had a secret language. And it is that secret language that allowed the moon, it allowed the stars to guide our ancestors. They understood that there was a specific cycle. And that cycle, you must align with it. Whether you go hunting, whether you want to cleanse yourself, you must align with the cycle, which is the communication. And these things are accessed through portals. And our portals are generally, apertures and holes. Portals for us are apertures and holes. This is why when you say, I want to be strengthened. Oh no, oh no, I want to do this, I want to do that, I want to be cleansed. The healer will always cut incisions in your body. Ukuchaza, ukuqaphula inhlanga. Ukuqaphula inhlanga is the cutting of incisions, because the incisions are an opening. That is the whole idea behind portals. An opening. And I've explained it before. I've explained it before that we have different types of gateways. And some of these gateways are expressed in mythology. So I cannot express the importance and significance. The importance and significance of our mythology, because it carries such knowledge that you're not going to get in school today. You can send your child to St. John's College. You can send your child to St. David Marist. You can send your child to St. Stithians. They're not going to learn about this mythology. And it renders them vulnerable. Vulnerable to manipulation. Vulnerable to hypnosis. And you think hypnosis is when you go to a hypnotherapist. No, Baba. Hypnosis is when I grind into your brain through the portal of the ears. And I tell your child that you must work hard and achieve success in life. That's hypnosis. Portals are literally in your body. And there's different hierarchies of portals. Your ears, your nose, your mouth. All the holes, because a portal is a gate. No, it's not evil to dream yourself flying. Let me reiterate. It's not evil. It's a very good thing. But if you dream yourself flying between 12 and coming back at 5, that's a completely different type of flying right there. And you should be worried. If in your dreams, when you are flying, you fly between 12 and 5, that's a completely different type of flying, and you should be concerned. I can promise you that one. And this type of dream, at 5 a.m., on the dot, you are coming back. On the dot. I'm not telling you about things I've heard. I'm telling you something that I know. You coming back at 5 a.m. on the dot, and you will see it feels different. It feels different. Now there are dreams where you fly, maybe you're fighting in the dream, and then you fly, and then you jump, and then that's a different type. But if you're always flying every time, now it's different for people who smoke weed. So weed smokers will always have weird dreams because they're high. That's why drugs are dangerous, because you'll have weird dreams. Even some painkillers, some painkillers like Mybulen, it will make you dream of things that don't make sense, that thing. So you need to be careful of those things. If there's other substances, those substances are speaking to other parts of your subconscious. If you don't dream, uvaliwe or uvalekile, there's things you must start doing and things you must stop doing. Certain foods are not good for you if you want to perceive with the third eye. Margarine, it's not good for you. Fats, unsaturated, not good for you. Coffee, not good for you. Too much salt, not good for you. In fact, at some point, you need to also start eating with your hands. Those are the behavioral changes you must make if you want to be able to open up and see and perceive things. I'm not going to say use herbs and this and that, because then you'll do things you don't understand. Yabo. It's mostly around 5. Umzimba uyasinda xa ndilele. Uyabona wena uyacinezelwa. They are visiting you, shame, every night. Guys, people are capable out there. People are capable out there. People will come and enter your room while doors are closed and grab you from your body. You will exit your body and you can see your body is lying there, and you are in another person's house. People are capable, guys. You will find yourself in another house's wardrobe. And it's crazy because you can see yourself sleeping there. Mind your space. Now, there are things that are natural. Water, salt. It's good to burn things to cleanse the air. It's scientifically proven. Some of these instances, when you burn these things, they cleanse the air. And these are free things. Always in a school. It's never good dreams if you dream in a school. Someone is teaching you some things. It seems like you didn't give permission though. Sometimes you must wake up and fight back. But let's not deviate. I know this is a hot topic, and I know it's a very personal one. People don't want to... Let's let go of this one. I feel like it's a topic we should discuss at midnight. Maybe 11 to 12 guns. Yeah, bon. So I was answering the question of what the significance of umcekwane is. What is the significance of umcekwane, the praying mantis? And I think I did provide an answer that the praying mantis represents an early race of shapeshifters. The praying mantis as being credited for introducing fire to humanity, that is to say, for influencing technology. So the praying mantis as an insect represents a shape-shifting civilization. The ancestors, the first beings. Now, in Kham mythology, the first beings are said what destroyed them. What destroyed them is the fact that they could shapeshift. Their shapeshifting abilities, their ways of trickery, destroyed them. Destroyed their ability to live freely. It is said they went back into being stars and the sun and the moon. You think it's by mistake that the appearance of the Pleiades cluster, you think it's a mistake that its appearance is seen as the beginning of the new year? Ukuvela kweSilimela. Because there are beings that come from Pleiades, the 7 stars. It's 6 actually. It's 6 stars. The 7th one you need to you can't see it with the naked eye. And you wonder why there's a 7 day week, sorry. So then, Tina, we were taught that the praying mantis is not to be harmed. It's friendly. It's a friend to us. It's a friend to us. It represents the friendly ones, if I can put it that way. We were told that the praying mantis represents the friendly ones. And that for me is something I would say that when you see the praying mantis, then you offer your prayers, as some would do. There are many other mythologies, guys, that I would touch on. Another mythology is the mythology of, that I was told when I was still a child, a bull that was being tricked. The bull was called Udulube, a cow. Udulube was being tricked by Igongong or Amagongong. Now, Gongong is a word that means to plunge into a deep hole. To plunge into a deep hole. I'm going to explain it further. Maybe let me address Lorna. Should people be scared or forever wary? I'm happy to say that not even once did I mention fear or wariness, in this life. I'm proud to say that. I mean, if anything, anyone who has followed my lives knows that I'm not a coward myself. I will address things that people are afraid to address. Like here, right now, I'm talking about this. Not many people would talk about this subject publicly. So, if anything, maybe be like me. Be wise, But one thing I'm not going to withdraw is that Musa ukuqala abantu. Musa ukuqala abantu. That one, I'm going to say it without fear. I know what I know. If uqale abantu, apologize. If abantu baqalile, deal with them. But Musa ukuqala abantu ngabazi. Abantu bazokubonisa abantu, and izinto zabantu zikhona. Izinto zabantu zikhona, and izinto zabantu ziyasebenza. So, all I'm saying is I'm giving you a preventative model of life. Mind your business, handle your stuff, and handle yourself. Don't go around poking the bear. Because you don't know umntu ubhinqa ngantoni. Futhi you don't want to know umntu ubhinqa ngantoni. Asiphumi kumakhaya afanayo sonke. You understand? So be mindful. That's all I'm saying. But that was not even the point of my life. My life is about mythology, so maybe let's not deviate altogether. Maybe let's not deviate. It's my viewers who are interested in these things. Nah, I don't talk about these things. I have my own fair share of understanding and all that, so it's not stuff I like to talk about anyway. But yeah, guys, the relevance of mythology then becomes such that there's practices in our culture that people don't understand. Because our culture never promoted questioning. So if you ask, why should I not kill a praying mantis? They're not telling you that, no, a praying mantis represents an early race of shapeshifters who have been credited of giving us fire or combustion technology. Because that's why a praying mantis cannot be killed. It represents this shape-shifting deity or entity. It represents shapeshifters. That's what the praying mantis represents. The ones who gave us fire, and that's it. There's no other reason. It represents the key of the heavens, the child of the heavens. Umntwana wezulu, isitixo sezulu. That's why some people pray even to the praying mantis. In fact, the Dutch call it Hottentot God. The Hottentot God. That's why then you're being told, don't kill the praying mantis. There's a big industry of indigenous beliefs regarding insects altogether, not just the praying mantis. It's the bees, inyosi. Look at how they can build. Look at their organizational structure with the queen. It represents an early civilization in a way. There's the termites, izintubi. In fact, you cannot kill termites even if they come underneath your house, emakhaya. They form a mound, a colony. Isimandla sentubi. If isimandla is a mound, a big mound that rises inside your house, you can't even sleep in that room with termites. I'm telling you because it came out at home maybe 3 years, 4 years ago. Isimandla sentubi. My father had to ukwenza imbiza. Just to, to communicate whatever he wanted to communicate. So what I'm saying here is to give an account of the origins of mythology and the relevance of mythology. There's a question, how does it affect those who don't believe in mythology? No, I don't think it's about belief, honestly. I'm not someone who deals with belief too much. I think belief is an individual thing. I'm not talking about belief here, guys. Maybe people are hearing someone else speaking. No, I'm not saying these things you guys are asking. I didn't say them. I'm not saying people must believe in anything. I'm not saying people must not believe in anything. I'm just giving facts of where these things originate and what they signify in our indigenous mythology. Now, if someone believes in mythology or they don't, is absolutely immaterial to me. It's mythology. That's what it is. But it didn't just fall out of the sky. There's very verifiable sources that it comes from. It's not just South African mythology. It's mythology in every other culture. Everything I've mentioned here, you can go to Native Americans, you can go to Mayans in South America, you can go to Aboriginal Australians, you can go to ancient Kemet, you can go to ancient Greece. It's all mythology. It shares common characters, shares common themes. In fact, some of the biggest religions today takes its inspiration from mythology. In fact, it is mythology in some instances. Mythology doesn't mean false things. Mythology doesn't mean false things. It simply means it's been recorded in an allegorical way. So you can't take mythology as being literal. You can see this is an insect. You can literally see it's an insect. It doesn't know how to talk, but it represents something. Please, guys, share the live. Please like. We're about to go deeper now. But I wanted to share this point that there's a shape-shifting race. Shape-shifting race. And this race is credited as being similar to this one. Qang. This is Qang. This is Qang. This is Qagen. When you hear the people of Omajola, or Qengeba, when they say Qengeba, the Qeng part comes from the name of the praying mantis. Qang. It means the Lord. Yeah. When you hear the name of the king of the Baputi, Murosi, his other name is Qenga or Qenge, it comes from the name of the praying mantis, Qang. In fact, the moon, Qang, or aka Nyanga, is named after the praying mantis. The name of the moon literally means, in the click form Qang, the Lord. Nyanga, the high one. The bright one. So then it comes now from mythology into real life now, all of a sudden. Someone's telling me about Ukamata. You know, there in Lesotho, there was a group of people who spoke a language known as Sirwa. Thank you. There was a group of people who spoke a language known as Sirwa. In Sirwa, they refer to the highest creator as Eng Akeng Teng. Eng Akeng Teng. Where did I get this information? From a man who was called King. That was his name. Or King. That's how you spell Kang in modern lexicon. But if you want to use the international phonetic alphabet, you use exclamation mark Kaang. That's the phonetic alphabet. Kang or Kagen or Kang. Let me write it for you. Or Kagen or Ikwane. That's what we call it. Tina City Kutikwane. It's from Iken or Kang or Kagen or Kang. This is the name of the praying mantis. Somehow it finds its way into the name of Ukamata. I will explain how. Because the praying mantis is Kang or Kagen or Kagen or Kang or Tikwane, Umtikwane. The earliest records of the Tram and the Barwa and the Khegwi Abatwa, they use the same word. The people of King was living amongst Abaputi in Lesotho in the 1800s. King Puma Baputi. In fact, the Baputi themselves say King was a prince, actually. Uking. He says they worship Kang Akeng Teng or Keng Akeng Teng. Keng means what? High Lord, rich master, the master of all that live. Keng Akeng Teng. Keng Akeng Teng.